people here. So we're here in Southern Oregon at one of our directors' home, Jamie and Carol Wilson. And we're so happy to have everyone with us this morning. We feel very, very grateful to have y'all with us. And we've got such wonderful content for you guys. We have 3 mind-blowing speakers, absolutely sensational. So what a huge, huge, huge blessing. And we're going to change our format a little bit. We usually have wins and announcements at the beginning, but today we're going to just open in prayer, and then we'll have our 3 speakers. I want you guys to know that the meeting is divided kind of in 2 different themes and 2 different sections, because we've got 2 different kinds of people on this call. The first part is going to be health and wellness, nutrition, some very inspiring, amazing health stories, because what we're all about is bringing people better life, right, Deb? That is true. And so you're going to hear some good examples of some amazingly changed and improved lives because of our wonderful products, since our body's made to run on nutrition. And we've got excellent products for that. So I will have Jamie open us in prayer, if he could please, and then we'll have our 2 primarily health and wellness nutrition speakers, health testimonies, and then Alan will take the second half of the meeting and explain to us some wonderful things we can do to improve our financial situation, because that's so important for all of us too. So Jamie, would you like to open us up in prayer, please? Okay.
Lord, I just want to say thank you for this opportunity that we get to meet in a free country, that we get to humble our hearts before the God that created us and learn about what you've designed for our bodies. Teach us how to trust you. Teach us how to learn from you. And Lord, always help us to listen to the best things that you have for us. And bless each speaker and everyone that hears. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Jamie. Okay, we still have more people arriving here. We've got a really good crowd down here at Jamie's house. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead. Hi, Jenny, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first speaker. And I'm in a little bit different environment than I'm used to. I'm usually at my office sitting at a conference table. And so I'm kind of adjusting here. But I'm going to introduce our first speaker. She is a wonderful person. She is a mother of 6. She is a world-class wife. She's highly intelligent. She's very perceptive and wise. She's a great recruiter. One of the best people in their team she got at a coffee shop, serving coffee to her. And that person, I think, is just on the brink of requalifying as world team. So Nicole's a great recruiter, an alert to being able to meet needs. She's kind, she's warm, she's thoughtful. You guys, please help. You got an echo in there. Okay, so please welcome for Ruby International President's Team member, Nicole Blayton.
Hello, thank you, Bob, for that sweet introduction. Can you all hear me okay? Because I'm driving.
I can hear you fine. Can you guys hear us too? Okay, we can hear you.
You can? Okay. I'm driving. We got in late last night from Eric Worre's mastermind, and then I had an errand to run this morning, and then we're gone to the beach tomorrow morning. So we are just go, go, go. So I'm trying to get things done as I'm driving. But yeah, so you wanted me to tell a little bit about my story, right, Bob?
Yes, please, if you could, please.
My health testimony.
Yes.
Because some, most know it and some don't, but how Alan and I got introduced to these products, it was because of my health. My health was extremely bad in my 20s. It started in my early 20s. And Al and I at that time married, 3 small children. We have 6 now, like Bob said. And I was dealing with some fatigue, major fatigue, and some pain in both my legs. This went on for a few years, and I'm pretty stubborn. So I finally went to see a doctor because Alan advised me to do so. He's like, we need to find out what's going on. And so I did at age 27. And that doctor diagnosed me with chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. And back then it was very unusual, but I remember asking the doctor, what can you prescribe me? And he said, you just need to find a good supplement and protein shake. I thought, oh, wow, okay. So I did just that, tried to at least, and tried several different products, and nothing helped me. And then I developed IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, that sent me to the emergency a few times. That wasn't fun. I would be in fetal position every night in so much pain. My stomach would hurt so bad. The doctors ran lots of tests. At one time scared me, saying that I might have stomach cancer. So we spent a lot of money on supplements and a lot of doctor visits and all that. And then I developed depression really bad, where I had suicidal thoughts, insomnia. Of course, I couldn't sleep good at night, right? Because I had the stomach issues. And then I developed really bad hormonal problems. And so then I went to supposedly the best holistic doctor in our area. He put me on his regimen. That didn't help me. And so I grew frustrated at that time. And I remember just feeling like a huge failure as a mom. I wanted to have more children. I knew there was no way I couldn't. And so I ended up resorting to 3 different prescription medications. I didn't like the side effects, and I knew it was just a Band-Aid effect. So I quit pretty quickly. And thankfully, NeoLife came into my life 2 weeks later. I read about Marjorie Clark's testimony, her story, missing kidney, spleen, and adrenal, missing organs. And anyways, I was super impressed with her story. I'm like, wow, these products revolutionized her health. And, she was in worse shape than me. And so I gave it a try. And within a few weeks, I could tell a difference. Within 3 months, the chronic fatigue was gone. And within 6 months, all of my other health issues were gone. So I was, if you can imagine, pretty impressed. And then I got to experience 3 pregnancies without NeoLife, 3 with NeoLife. And it was a huge difference. Like the first 3 babies had jaundice, the last 3 didn't. So I was already impressed, right, with the supplements. And then I'm seeing that and seeing the difference of how my pregnancies were so much better. The babies were healthier. The recovery time for me was like even better after giving birth. I felt so good that I was like up cooking dinner that night after giving birth in the morning. I don't recommend that. You should rest, but that's how great I felt on NeoLife. And it even helped our daughter with seizures. She was diagnosed with petit mal seizures, but they were the type that were ongoing. She was hospitalized for close to a week, and they put her on medication. Once again, the side effects were good. We saw that. I did a little bit of research, and I'm like, oh my goodness, omega-3s help with seizures. And so we put her on 8 a day, and the seizures went away. Now, we could not homeschool her. I was homeschooling at the time, the children, and she could do school for 3 months. That's how bad the seizures were. And so anyways, we are just like extremely grateful for what the products have done for me, my health, and our family's health. And so, yeah, we are huge believers. And I'm going to let Alan later share our business testimonial because that's a whole different story. But yeah, so that's my health testimonial. And then what was the other question that you had, Bob, that you wanted me to share?
I thought it could be helpful to a little bit on affirmations because, Nicole, you shared that you had a pretty rough upbringing, right?
Yes. That one gets me so emotional because I feel like I've come such a long way. And this business, you all, I get so emotional. I never thought it could do what it's done for me. Affirmations were huge. And I'm just going to start off like, yeah, to let you know, like one thing I've noticed in this mastermind that we're in with the Eric Worre, with these people, I'll be honest with you, like, I told Alan, I'm like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to be around these people. They're so much higher than us, you know? And he's like, Nicole, they're just average people. And when I went, you know, Alan, he's always right. And I'm like, they are. The only thing that they have different, you know, than most people is that I saw that they all have in common, these people, is they're consistent. They're constantly just pouring into themselves as far as self-development. So they're always learning and growing. And the third thing is limiting beliefs. They get rid of limiting beliefs. And that is huge, especially in this business. It's so big because we get a lot of no's, right? And sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it's scary to present or show the products or the business. And so that's been really huge for me because I had a lot of fears. So growing up, my brother, he put me down, said, you will never make it in life. You're going to be a hooker when you grow up. And I honestly believed all these things. I was a little girl. I did not have my father in my life. My father went to prison when I was 13 years old, I think around like 12, 13. For 2 years, he went to prison and I would visit him in prison and all that. So I had a rough upbringing. So my mom, I was raised by a single mother. My dad didn't pay child support. So she worked all the time. She was hardly home. I hardly ever saw her. She was a real estate, you know, broker. And when she was home, you know, she was riding her horses. So it's like, I did not have a family, right? So it was just my brother and I looked up to him. He was like a father figure. So for him to put me down, it really affected me. And I really believed all those words growing up. You know, I might as well just give up. I'm not going to make it in life. And so this business has totally transformed my belief level. And one thing that I love doing is affirmations. So just reprogramming the mind. Sorry. Kind of hard when I'm driving, but so reprogramming the mind, the subconscious mind, to believe what I want it to believe. And I know you've seen this, Bob. I've written down on an index card, you know, all my affirmations. You've seen those. We encourage people on our team, and I've talked about it. So just reprogramming, because that subconscious mind is made up of 90%. And you have like, I want to say like 4 billion neurons, you know. And then the conscious mind is only 10%. And it's, you know, way lower, right? And so I reprogram my subconscious mind just by writing down affirmations, like for example, I am a leader, I am intelligent, people do like me, people are attracted to me, I am a one diamond. So all these positive affirmations, and it's amazing, it works. And another thing that I do is start each day for the things that I'm thankful for. And, you know, these things are so important just to start our day with, to reprogram that mind, just like the Bible talks about as a man thinks, so is he, right? And a lot of pro athletes too. I mean, they do this like before their big events or competitions, they reprogram their mind. And it's a huge thing with professional athletes, Olympic athletes. And I'm telling you, with this area, you know, I've come away and I look back and I'm like, wow, you could ask Bob, I was afraid to even get on stage and speak. And now I'm like, I kind of like it. And I never thought I would be, yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I'm like, I tell Alan this a lot. I'm like, I think that's the best part about the business. It's not the money for me, and the freedom, that's important, and time with family and all that, such a huge blessing. But I really like the self-development and the, the growth and the, getting over limiting beliefs, because, one quote that I love, it's my favorite, is everything that you want is on the other side of fear. And it's so true. And if you can overcome that, then you are going to be so successful in this business, so successful.
Well, Nicole, is overcoming limiting beliefs, would you say that would be one of the most important things? Probably, possibly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. By far, by far. And yeah, and like the other two that I mentioned too, self-development's huge. And then the consistency, which, I had to work on. Alan's very good at that. And consistency is huge too. If you have those three things, you will be super successful in this business. You don't have to be perfect. That's one thing that I realized, you just keep growing. And if you fall down, get back up and just keep doing it. So a lot of people think they have to be perfect. We have to know it all, especially with, our products, with all the incredible science and things to know. You just do the best. You're always learning and growing. You don't have to do it perfect. As a matter of fact, it's nice not to be too perfect, because you want to be duplicatable, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for all that, Nicole.
Yeah.
You guys,
You're welcome.
when you meet someone like Nicole, that they've had IBS or chronic fatigue syndrome or fibromyalgia, usually they've had it for decades. Wouldn't you agree, Deb? I mean, forever. And here Nicole got over those three, plus depression, hormone situation, and insomnia in 6 months, all gone.
Yep.
That is so powerful. Don't you agree, Nicole? They can suffer with that stuff for years in some cases, right?
Yes, they can. They can. I just met a lady on the airplane yesterday who's going to sign up. She's a real estate agent. And yeah, she was telling me she suffers from that, and gave her a Betazyme. I'm like, try this, you'll see. So, but there's so many people that suffer from it. And that one I like, because that one they could see quick results, with the Betazyme, the beta-adjustin enzymes.
Okay. And I remember one time you told me that you cannot live without, I think you told me Trianan, salmon oil, and the shake. Those were huge for helping you get better?
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, you remember that. Yes, those are my top three favorite products. The Trianan, so important, because that helps your cells, right? And so that one's important. And then also the salmon oil is important too, because I suffered from not only depression, fibromyalgia, that takes down inflammation big time. And so that one is extremely important. And that one helped me tremendously.
How
And
much?
I had, yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I had the depression really bad, like I mentioned, suicidal thoughts. I mean, it was awful. And the fibromyalgia was pretty bad too. It was, I think, the beginning of it, because I was so young. But if I didn't have it today, it would be horrible. So I'm so thankful someone shared with me years ago. So I now I'm 52 years old. And I was diagnosed at 27, but if I didn't have it today, I don't know where I'd be. And I'm so thankful that someone, wasn't fearful, and they shared with me.
Yes, yes. And that was that Marjorie Clark or Lawrence, maybe?
Yeah, Lawrence, I had called them, because they had a 1-800 number. We didn't have cell phones back then, in a magazine. And so I had called, and he answered the phone, and I felt like, wow, this guy cares so much about me. I could just tell. He talked more about the Lord than he did the products, but and asked me a lot of questions. And I'm like, the doctors don't even do this. He just cared so much. And so I knew, like, okay, this guy actually cares about my health. And so I listened, and he sent me information. And back then it was cassette tapes. And I think it was Don Lawson that I listened to, good old Don Lawson. Yeah. And I was blown away by the science, just blown away. I'm like, this is different than anything I've ever seen.
Well, Nicole, can you just in closing, I should tell you, Nicole, we won't go into this story, but there's a person on this call that about 11 months ago had 5 tumors on their body. And one of them, Nicole, was about this long on the breast and about that
Wow.
high and sticking right through the breast. And she was so weak she couldn't even brush her own hair. And with prayer, change of diet, high amounts of vitamin C and our products, in about 8 months' time, all 5 tumors are gone, Nicole.
Wow,
And
praise God. Love
yes,
it.
and
I
she's
love stories like that.
back to full activity, and the blood work shows no cancer activity. Is that incredible?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. We hear so many incredible stories. These
Yeah.
products
So
are phenomenal. And you know
yes,
what, Bob? Alan and I shared with some people at this mastermind, and even they were blown away by the products that we have. Now, one sells water, the other one sells, I think it's like home security or whatever. But they were so impressed with our science that they want more information and they're going to get on our product.
wow, wonderful, wonderful.
So
Nicole,
what we have is gold, everyone. What we have is gold, and we need to preach it on the highest mountain.
okay, Nicole, tell us in closing, and then we'll move to Charlotte. Can you tell us how much Trianin you take and how much salmon? And do you use the shake just once a day or do you use it twice? Can you tell us?
Yes. So the Trianin, starting out, I only did one Trianin grain oil. But then now that I'm 52 years old and, you know, all the premenopause coming into that soon, I take 7 just because Marjorie Clark encouraged me to do so.
Wow.
So hormone wise, I am doing great. I feel great. And then the salmon oil, I've always taken 6 a day.
Okay.
And then the shake, I do 2 a day only because Al and I, we work out, so we lift together. And I just want to make sure, you know, because as you age, you lose muscle. Want to make sure I always have that muscle. And so I do 2 a day, every
Okay.
day.
Okay. And then you don't have to list them all, but I'm guessing, would you use possibly 10 or 15 other products, possibly of ours also, maybe?
Oh yeah, I use anything and everything. You know,
Okay.
and Alan could talk about more like you could talk about the business, but as our business grew, we kept adding because the more you learn about the products, and as you age, you're like, okay, I need this, I need that. So yeah, we love it all.
Okay, good.
Let's just say we take it all.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
You guys, let's give Nicole just a massive thank you.
Oh, thank you, Bob. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our delight and our privilege. Thank you so much, Nicole. What a great
You're
story.
welcome. You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank you. Bye,
Okay,
everyone.
bye. Okay, you guys, now our next speaker, I was thinking about her this morning, and I would describe her, a good word for her is exceedingly, okay? Because company-wide, in the whole company, she's known to be exceedingly kind, exceedingly warm, exceedingly down to earth, exceedingly genuine, exceedingly humble. Everyone agrees on this too. This is not just my opinion. I've been privileged to know Charlotte for about 45 years, and her business has brought better health to hundreds and thousands all over the world. So please welcome Two Diamond, one of my relatives, actually, she'll tell you that. We used to be cousins, now we're brother and sister. And she was good friends with my grandparents too. She is a tremendous person, and her granddaughter's on here too. So let's welcome Two Diamond, Charlotte Shelton.
Hello, thank you, Bob. Oh, I just sit here looking at all of your faces, and you know, Bob, as you said, your grandfather was one of the first people I knew in NeoLife, and talk about impressive and just an amazing man. And it's just so exciting that you've carried on the legacy and 3rd generation now, right?
Yeah.
In the business. And you know, that's one of the things that this business can mean, to pass it on to people. And I'm so thrilled to have my granddaughter on here. I was so tickled. Yes, Allison, hello. Meet my beautiful granddaughter. And she and her new husband have moved out to Eugene, Oregon. And I thought, I bet she meets Bob Pearson. And where does she meet you? At church. So I'm so glad you guys are going to the same church, and I hear it's a great church, and that means so much, so much. And so anyway, I'm just delighted, Bob, that you invited us to be on today. And thank you for that. You've asked me to share some health stories.
Yep.
And, as I began to jot down notes, I thought, gee, I really was unhealthy back in the day. Even as a child, I was hospitalized twice. I always had strep throat, tonsillitis. And in fact, I had to have my tonsils out at age 25. They were just so diseased. And so I really, really needed help. My husband and I married at that time, my beautiful husband, wonderful husband, Chuck, and he started me on a journey of better health with vitamins and minerals and protein supplements. And I know I felt better, but guess what? I still had chronic fatigue. I could go to sleep at a traffic light. I mean, when the light turned red, I would drop off to sleep. One time I went to sleep in a car wash, if you can believe it. But that's a great place to sleep because it's dark and raining and feels really nice. So I needed help. I really needed help. And here I was so young and taking all those vitamins and minerals and protein supplements. But it was when God led us, our feet, to the Texas State Fair that's on right now. So this is a special time of the year for me because it's when God directed us to NeoLife. And we were actually walking by this booth, and Chuck saw an article on allergies, and he had terrible allergies. Nothing had ever happened to or helped him. And that's why we stopped at that booth. It was a divine stop, though. And as a result of that, he got way better on his, he was able to manage his allergies, and I got help with my chronic fatigue. Oh, it changed my life. And I was 29 then. This was in 1975. So coming up at the end of this month, it will have been my 49th anniversary of God bringing us this fabulous company and all these wonderful people that I know that I consider family. So my chronic fatigue went away. I also had digestive problems. And I remember asking our sponsor, I said, you know what? I'm so embarrassed. I have bad breath all the time. And what could help me? And he set a bottle of Betagest in front of me and said, you're not digesting your food. You need Betagest. And that was the answer, not only for me, but then also my mom, she couldn't eat like salad. She couldn't eat spicy food. She was on eating what am I saying? Like Tums and Rolaids all the time because she just couldn't digest anything. So the Betagest was the answer for her. My dad had a hiatal hernia. That Betagest was the answer for him. So as Nicole was saying, those digestive aids, oh my goodness, how fabulous they are. You've got to digest your food. I also used to have terrible pain in my legs. Even in junior high school, I had broken blood vessels. And so I had bad circulation and just such pain in the veins in my leg, even as an adult. And because of our fabulous vitamin E, all 8 factors, and the vitamin C with those bioflavonoids, I have no pain in my legs anymore. So you can't believe how thankful I am for that. And I had an injury years ago, and so now I have bone on bone in my knee, in one of my knees. I had no idea until a doctor told me that, and I said, "You're kidding, Dr. Jack. I have bone on bone." And he said, "Yes, I bet you have a lot of pain." I said, "I have no pain at all because I double up on my salmon oil and my full motion." And I loved what Nicole said because I like Nicole, and the older you get, the more you kind of want to pour in and you know what, who I have to thank for that, Bob?
Who?
Your grandfather. I have him to thank for that.
Wow.
I'll never forget him saying, now that I'm 80, I take 2 of the active 40, as they were called. So thank you, Grandpa Earl.
Yes.
Changes my life until today. And I still tell that story because the older you get, like Nicole said, it's like, I don't want to miss any of those benefits. And the more you learn about health and wellness and nutrition, and especially the NeoLife difference, that's always what it is, the NeoLife difference that makes the difference. And just like it did in Nicole's life, just like it did in my life, my husband's life, it made the difference. And so we keep seeing that in the people we share with. Like I had a gentleman, and he learned about lipotropic adjunct through a family member. And he said, when this family member was a chiropractor, and said, when my old people get down, I give them this. And so his doctor told him, because he'd had quadruple bypass, his doctor told him, I'm sorry, those bypasses are all clogged up. There's nothing we can do. You probably have about 30 days to live. That's not a good diagnosis. And so he found us, came in, got the lipotropic adjunct, went home, put an X on the calendar. And each day he would go to feed the horses, and he would have to stop halfway to the barn to rest and catch his breath. He was just so out of breath. And 28 days later, he walked to the barn without having to stop for rest. The next day, and went back home again, not having to stop halfway there. The next day he did the same thing, and then went for a mile walk. And his wife later on was told, you're going to have open heart surgery. And she said, let me get back to you on that. And she went home and put an X on the calendar. And guess what? I don't think she ever had surgery either, in their cases. And they had a friend. I used to buy hay from this man, and he too, all of his blockages, I mean, his bypasses were all clogged up, and his carotid artery and was like 75% blocked. He said, I didn't have enough oxygen to even walk out to my truck without gasping for air. He got started on the lipotropic adjunct, and it was just amazing. He ended up outliving all of his family members, just did great. And that 75% blockage in his carotid artery ended up going to like 25%. So it's just so exciting to see incredible stories. We also had a lady that was she's stage 4 renal failure, on dialysis 3 times a week. She was like poor as a church mouse because she couldn't work, and had always been very, very ill. And and she was a widow, and she ended up, after getting on Formula 4, her numbers at the dialysis center started changing, and she just kept getting better and better and better. And they said, well, after about 9 months, they said, you know what, if this keeps up, you may get to stop dialysis. And as it turned out, she did. And these are the kind of things we go like, what? You're kidding me. You're kidding me. But, you can't deny what happens. And so we just always say, thank the Lord in NeoLife that we get to see people's lives changed. And so it's just, been so exciting all these years. The more people you share with and bless, the more you're blessed. And you cannot beat having that kind of a wonderful business, and to be a part of. Plus all the amazing people here. I set my little timer and it's going off now. So okay. Well, anyway, so you'd asked me to share 10 minutes, and I've shared 10 minutes, Bob.
Thank you, Charlotte. We're hoping to get Charlotte back in the very near future to share more, because her and her husband, their story is incredible. Not only the health, but Charlotte, were you guys living in an apartment and you had tons of bills, and the big dream was to live in the country, and they were able to buy you guys 100-acre property, all paid for? Charlotte, were you guys in an apartment at that time when you were building and dreaming?
Actually, we were in a house. We'd gotten in a home, but it was touch and go to make those house payments. My husband had left being employed by the dental company he worked for, and he had decided. I worked at a bank in Dallas. This was in Dallas, and we did have those dreams of living in the country, and we wanted to travel and just so many things. And so he was trying really hard to develop a business, and he tried all kinds of businesses, but we kept getting in debt as those businesses, it wasn't a lot of times like he developed a leasing company, and it sounded really good. He had an office in the Cowboy Tower in Dallas, and it sounded really good, but no money. And then my big bank got into the leasing business. Well, how's Chuck Shelton going to compete with that? So that went down the drain. So we kept looking and looking, and we tried other network marketing businesses. A dentist's wife introduced us to Amway back in the day, and we tried that. And then a guy at my work gave us, actually, it was a Don Lawson tape when he had been in Shackley all those years ago. And so that's what got us into the nutrition business. And so we were taking those Shackley products, but again, we still didn't get to where we wanted to be health-wise. And so we kept praying, God, show us what it is, show us what it is. And that's when he led us to NeoLife. And so we were in the house, but again, it was touch and go. And but we even had to sell antique dishes one time just to pay taxes. And we never missed a house payment, but it was touch and go, and we had a lot of debt. So when we got started with NeoLife, it was, we're all in. And it took me 2 weeks. I said, I hate sales. I don't like sales. I don't want to do this, but I'll support you, but don't ask me. I'm not going to do this. And so we started having meetings right away. And and so Chuck would be back, and there was no social media. There was no anything. It was just, he had said to our sponsor, send me everything. And so he would sit back there and he would read the brochures, and he would just cram and come out, and then I'd greet the people. We'd have a meeting every week. And so then he'd come out and talk about NeoLife and the products and the differences. And that's how we built our business. Of course, 2 weeks later, I was all in because the product started changing my life, and it's never stopped. And I remember we used to have to get everything in caseloads, and it was a freight company. It took 2 weeks to get the products at the house, and they dumped these big, huge boxes of products on our curb. I'll never forget Bob Shaw, our vice president, one time when he was in town to give a meeting. He said, I didn't know you had to do this, because there was these big, heavy cases out on the sidewalk, and we'd take them into the office and unload them. And we had one of the bedrooms, and we put shelves in the closet, and that's where we stocked our products. And I'll never forget, one night we were, after the meeting, all the people were leaving, and Chuck said, oh my gosh, we just got an order in today and the shelves are bare again. And I said, isn't this a terrible problem? So we just worked really hard, and then started traveling around and giving meetings in individuals' homes. And that's how we built our business. So God blessed us then with being able to, because we could live anywhere we wanted to. And so that's when we found the beautiful acreage, 100 acres, and ended up with the Longhorn Ranch, and enjoyed that for all of those years, paid for. And even a wonderful home in Colorado, paid for. And so we just were so, so blessed. And today, oh my, and maybe you were going to ask this, but now that my sweet Chuck went home to be with the Lord, which we thought we were going to meet Jesus together, right? But you never know. And he's certainly blessed with his eternal rest. But I'm left with an amazing NeoLife family to be a part of. I have hope in the future. I have residual income. I don't know what people do without residual income. You cannot live on Social Security. And so, and with the investments we made in the ranch in Colorado, you know, those were wonderful investments. And so I just thank the Lord every day for NeoLife, health-wise, financial-wise as well.
Okay, wow, give her a hand, you guys. I'll tell you, Charlotte knows how to work too, because Chuck and Charlotte would go to the Texas State Fair probably 10, 12 hours a day for about 28 days, you guys, every year.
28 years, yes.
28 years. So they know how to work, but they built a multi-million dollar business that's all over the world. And so we're hoping we can get her back in the near future. We're talking about a date now. And Charlotte has lots more to share, I tell you. I wish I could go into it, but we don't have time right now. And the reason we're blessed to have Charlotte on here, actually, I met her granddaughter, Allison. I can see her on the screen just 3 days ago at a networking group. And I almost recruited her. And then she said, wait a minute. What vitamin company is this? And I said, it's NeoLife. And she said, my grandma sells vitamins in Texas. And I was just about to, and she says, my grandma has an office. And I just about said, in Denison, Texas. And right before that, she says, in Denison, Texas. So I said, I've known your grandma for 45 years and we love her. She's amazing. So that's how come you guys were fortunate to have Allison, of course, and Charlotte with us. And I think Charlotte told me that Allison saw my truck in the parking lot at church. I've never met her at church, but she saw my truck on the tailgate. It says Pearson's Health and Nutrition since 1970. And she took a picture of my truck and sent it to Charlotte and said, do you know this guy? She said, yeah. So that's how all that happens. Is that amazing, Alan? That was like 3 days ago. So I knew I'd be in hot water if I recruited her. I said, no, you better sign up under grandma. But Allison, she's so sharp. Alan, I sent her your tools. I sent her 5 key criteria. I sent her, and Nicole, can you hear me? Hopefully. And I sent her 5 key criteria solution. I said, if I send these to you, will you tell me what you like best in both? Because I want to know what resonates in both. She said, yes. So she texted me back everything. I said, okay, now do you want to see the 30-minute video Alan used to build this massive business? She said, yes, send it to me. And I told her Alan's story. And I said, now, Alan, the guy that made that stuff, that video is going to be on our call this Saturday. Do you want to be on the call? Yes. So you guys, this just happened 3 or 4 days ago. And so then I talked to Charlotte and I said, can you be on since your granddaughter's going to be on? Yes, I want to be on. Because see, she admires Alan and Nicole too, like I do. So, so thank you, Charlotte. Let's give her a hand, you guys.
Thank you, Bob. It's been my pleasure. Love your team.
Okay,
And Alan and Nicole.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. So now buckle up because you guys, finances is, I mean, wouldn't you guys agree? Finance is huge, very important. It can take a lot of stress off our life if we have adequate, correct? You guys agree? So Alan, to introduce Alan, I'll just say he's hardworking. He's disciplined. He's focused like a laser. He's smart. He's wise. He's highly intelligent. He is a phenomenal leader, extraordinary leader. He gives confidence to people. He knows how to cast vision, very important. And we all need to learn that skill from him. Good at casting vision. He's a great organizer. He's kind. He's humble. And you know what you guys are going to find, the higher you go in NeoLife, the more humility. Jerry Brasfield at the top is humble as can be. Charlotte, huge team, very humble. Alan, I would normally be intimidated by him. I still am a little bit, but I found how he's extremely humble and extremely kind. His comments about you. Oh, he is? Okay. So Alan, I mean, I don't tell too many people this, but he's actually made me cry several times, probably 3, 4, 5, 6 times, because he's just kind, you guys. He is down to earth. He's a wonderful man. So you guys, he's going to share some of his story, and he said that you guys, we can ask him questions, Q&A too afterwards. So he's going to share with us a little bit about building a wonderful, phenomenal team. So you guys, let's welcome a great man, very great man for Ruby International President's Team, Mr. Alan Blaine.
Wow, Bob, man, thank you so much. I always feel so inadequate to the words that you use to build us up. Well, I will say me up. Nicole's worthy of every bit of it. She's the real rock star in our marriage, and really the reason we're even involved in NeoLife today. And I always say she's my better 3/4. So you got to hear her first. After she spoke and then Charlotte spoke, I'm like, man, I don't even need to say a word. This has been amazing. We can just all get to work and go start talking to people and impacting lives together. I'm fired up just being on the call, even though I've been doing a little multitasking. I've heard every word. So thank you so much for having me, Bob. You are amazing. We love your team. Such a special team, and you're such a special person. I'm not surprised that there's, however many people are on this call, quite a few, because you're a great leader, and who wouldn't want to be a part of your tribe and your circle? I just feel encouraged every time I'm around you. So that being said, it's a cool story with Allison too, because I always tell people so many times, we launched a new team in Tulsa recently. We launched a new team in Vegas recently, and just different places around the country, Tampa. And people will ask us, like, I mean, we get this question quite often, actually, especially if somebody's ever been in the industry before. Well, is it very saturated here in Tulsa? Is it very saturated here in Dallas? Is it very saturated here in Tampa and Bend, Oregon, and Eugene? I mean, wherever, right? It's like, no. I mean, literally Eugene. Well, anyway, what I say is 99% of people in just about any city in the US have never heard the name NeoLife, let alone use it, let alone are promoters of it. Literally. I mean, I could count on my 2 hands in 24 years of using the products how many people I've run into. They're like, oh yeah, I've heard of NeoLife, that actually heard of NeoLife, and it wasn't New Life, For Life, Herbal Life, or something else, some other kind of life. So anyway, I mean, Eugene's probably saturated. I mean, you might even have like 1.5% that have heard of it. I don't know, maybe, but anyway, super excited about the opportunity. I mean, like Nicole said, we just came back from 2 full days, morning to night, of masterminding with top network marketers in the world. You have to earn $250,000 to even be in the room a year from your network marketing business alone. You have to pay $30,000 a year to be in the room after you qualify. And the average income of the 140 of us is 950,000 a year, like just under $1 million. There's people in the room earning 600,000 a month. That's like 8 million a year. If I'm doing my math right, or something like that, a lot. And these are people, like Nicole said, they just put their pants on one leg at a time. It's like, we're getting to know them so well that it's like you start to realize, and this is one of the biggest tips. I mean, I've interviewed pastors of mega churches of 8,000, written 25 books, big name people. I've interviewed NFL players on my podcast. I'm talking about my podcast now. I've interviewed NFL players. I've interviewed billionaires, like the founder of the 4th largest real estate brokerage in the nation, or maybe the world. I've interviewed Jerry Brassfield. I've interviewed some powerful people from all different backgrounds, and they all have insecurities, and they all have like shortcomings, and they all have things that they had, challenges, and they've all had things they had to overcome. But they had a big enough compelling reason to overcome them and do it anyway, whatever it was. And for Nicole and I, it's impacting lives and making an impact and having the use of our life long outlive our lives themselves. And, a lot of people talk about legacy and they want to leave a legacy. excuse me, they want to leave a legacy. And, the founder of Hobby Lobby, if you ever read his book, Bill, I think billionaire status, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, very successful. He wrote a book, and I now can't remember the name of it. But anyway, he basically had given all, wrote his estate to be given all away to his kids and grandkids, or however he divided it up, and then decided to take it all back again, because he didn't think that was what was going to be best for them. Anyway, I'm not trying to tell his story, but the point of the matter is some people would die to have, a bridge named after them, or something. And that's their legacy, right? Or their name on a plaque at the YMCA because they donated enough money, or a name on their church building or something. I don't know. But like, we get to literally leave a legacy in people. And in Charlotte's case, like hundreds of thousands of people that will far outlive our life. And that, to me, and I'm talking spiritually, I'm talking in a lot of other ways as well, because of this business, that fires us up. I mean, I told Nicole in the beginning, I'm going to get to our story, but I told Nicole in 2015, actually this ties to our story, but I told Nicole in 2015, 9 years ago, we'd been using the products for 15 years at that point. And I told Nicole, you know what? Let's do this business. And I just need you for 5 years, just 5 years, like 5 years. We got to like no TV, not that we're big TV watchers. We weren't, but I'm just saying like no TV, like we've got to cut some things. We've got to sacrifice. You have your own full-time job homeschooling our 6 children. I have my own full-time job traveling, commuting to work 2 states away, running a successful business, very busy, 60-hour work weeks. And, but we only have limited extra time with a family of 8 and all that going on. So now whatever extra time there is, which there's never extra time, but time outside of that, we have to make time for the things that are more important than the things we're spending time on. And I need you for 5 years to do this with me, at whatever level capacity you can, this meaning NeoLife. I've got the vision. We've got the vision. We're going to do this. She said, okay, let's do this. And here we are 9 years later. And we laugh now because like, yeah, we don't have to keep working NeoLife, but I can't imagine like Charlotte. I don't know how young you are, Charlotte. Maybe you don't want to say, but man, I'd be proud to say however old you are, because you look amazing. Anyway, I keep losing track of all you people that just are doing awesome. Like John Miller, someone asked me the other day, like, how long has he been with the company? 57 years. I'm like, it's 50 something years. I don't know. So how old is he now? I don't know. He's got to be close to 80. Maybe he's 80. I don't know. Anyway, so fun. But all that to say is my mind likes to take tangents, and then I got to remember where I'm at. It's been more than 5 years, 9 years. And I can't imagine not doing this ever, ever. Like, will the amount of travel we do or things change? Yeah, I'm sure. Probably, of course. But never not doing it? I can't imagine, because it's so much more than the money. The money's amazing. All the other stuff is amazing, but we had money before. In fact, maybe I should just jump into our story with all that, but I just jotted down a couple notes as Nicole and Charlotte were talking. And before I jumped into our story, I tell you what, like you, Charlotte, I hated sales. I've never sold a thing in my life. So if anyone's on the call going, I'm not a sales guy, I'm not a sales gal, whatever, well, that makes 2 of us. If anyone's on the call going, I'm not, charismatic and outgoing and bubbly and warm and friendly and beautiful like Nicole and Charlotte, well, you can join me, because I am the introvert of introverts. Public speaking, talking to strangers, least likely to succeed in network marketing, I'm sure, if you would have known me 10 years ago. And I mean, not that I'd be voted highly to succeed. And even now, I'm just saying a lot of growth has happened. A lot of change has happened right here for both Nicole and myself. And it's been so fun to see. I mean, Nicole, my goodness, I was listening to her today going, who is this woman? I mean, I love what I'm seeing, but this wasn't even like year over year over year, what I'm watching right before my eyes. I'm like, I'm already very excited about your looks. I'm already excited about your heart. I'm already excited about your ability to parent, your ability to love me, despite all of my messed up qualities and past failures. In every way, you're the most amazing wife. 32 years into marriage, it just keeps getting better. But this whole growth side of her, I mean, she talked about the realtor on the plane last night coming back from Vegas. This realtor was significant. I mean, not significantly. We're 52. So I don't know how old she was, Nicole. She was probably 62 or something. I don't know. Look, she was older than us. Significantly meaning we weren't like 52 and 53, like probably a decade older. And she's been in real estate all these years. She flips four homes a year. She does however many transactions a year. And before I know it, they're chatting it up. And this lady's asking Nicole for coaching on how to respond to this other realtor on this transaction. And Nicole's coaching her, which Nicole knows nothing about real estate. I mean, not nothing, but she never sold real estate. She wouldn't be the one to coach a realtor, but she's coaching a realtor on the things that she's learned in this business of just how to communicate to people. And the lady's hanging on every word. Oh, okay, I'll reply like that. I'm like, thank you, Lord. This is just amazing. And I was thinking too, the power of forcing yourself, or I don't know if forcing is the right word, but having a big enough vision for your life that you're willing to grow in this business doesn't just grow your check. It grows your ability to help people, yes, in this business, but like that lady, well, she will probably end up being a customer, and who knows, maybe she'll end up being a business partner. But even if she never was either, Nicole just added value, and it was more than helping her with this one message. It was more than that. But I'm using that as an example. Like, she was able to sit there, not an insecure person that thought she was going to grow up to be a hooker and dyslexic, which and like horrible at math, barely can do 2 + 2 even to this day, but has so many other giftings and skills God gave her. Like, she would have never, ever, ever, I don't know how, I mean, honestly, without this business, been in a situation, be the woman she is today, to have so much value to add to people on a multitude of levels, even outside network marketing, because there's so much wisdom there now. It's mind blowing to me. So, anyway, by the way, Bob, you asked how many vitamins she takes. Do you like, I try to hide how much vitamins I take from people because I don't want to overwhelm them. Because when people start, when we always say, like, when you hear Nicole's story from 24 years ago and over 6 months, her body was able to heal itself, or if we want to use the word help itself to be even more compliant, help itself to resolve those situations. We learned that word at the mastermind this week too. Help itself. Anyway, I digress. But hey, it was able to help itself. You know, it was essentially different names and everything, but it was a Pro Vitality and a NeoLife shake once a day. And then maybe within 3 months, you know, adding I think some extra salmon and maybe some beta jets or some digestive stuff. But it was just really 2, 3, 4 products maybe over that 6 months. But now, because we keep learning more of benefits of more, why would you not take more? But I also don't ever want someone to see how many vitamins I take every day and go, you got to do that to be healthy like that, when no, that's not necessarily true at all. Well, how do you feel about that, Bob?
Well, I don't know. I think I'd think more like you too.
I can't hear you. Is that, oh, I lost my microphone. Hold on 1 second so I can hear you again. I think it's on my end.
Okay. Can you
That's
hear me now?
weird.
Can you hear me?
Try it now. I got you now. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, I think I'd feel a little bit like you, that I want
Yeah.
to show everyone how much.
Yeah. Because that's how I feel. So, but we take a lot. And it's just so incredible. And I wrote it in the chat, but when Nicole was talking, but she literally, and she says this, and I know she means it. And thankfully we're not in a financial trouble or anything like that. But if it ever came to having to give up this amazing lake home, you know, 6,200 square feet on a 1 acre lot on the lake, walk down to the grass on the dock and hop on a boat and go, like, it's an amazing setup. She would give it up so quick and move into a 25-foot pool trailer if we had to keep NeoLife products at copious levels in her body every day. And I believe that. She's not just saying that. It's not just a good line. Like, if those were the two options, hey, keep spending hundreds of dollars a month on NeoLife or lose your home. Take my home all day, every day. So anyway, back to 2015. I was in real estate. I was a general contractor. That's the word. A licensed general contractor in California, living in Washington State in a little town of 2,000, poorest town in the state of Washington, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, we didn't even have a Walmart. I mean, you'd have to drive an hour to get to anything significant. And so it wasn't like a town of 2,000 next to another town that you could drive 20 minutes and get all the things you need. It wasn't like that. It was very remote and very poor, very poor. So if anyone tells you, oh, people can't afford it here, no, that's not true. Everybody can afford 3 for free. All right. And most people could afford, if they think about what they're spending on stuff, the most financially strapped people probably spend more than a breakfast solution over the course of a month on things they could cut out if they really wanted to. But anyway, so you know, we were living there. I was commuting to California. The business was doing well. We were making an incredible income. But I was working all the time. I was gone all the time. And I wasn't even, I didn't feel like what I was doing. I just felt like I was working for money. And there's nothing wrong with, we have to work for money. We have to pay bills. Nothing wrong with that in and of itself, but it was not serving me well, the situation I was in. And so there's a lot of things that happened in my life. In fact, I wrote a book about it. Most of you probably know. It's called Life's Hard, Succeed Anyway. If anyone wants to get it, I think you can. I don't make any money from it. So I'm not trying to just promote it to make, first of all, you don't make hardly any money on books, and the little that we make, we give away to a recovery program. But if you're interested, it's on Audible, it's on Amazon, whatever. It's all the versions. But if you want to hear more of the details, but there was a lot that went into this season of our life about 10 years ago. A lot of hard things that we went through. And people are always blown away when they read the book or they hear some of the stuff because they're like, wow. It's always easy to look at other people and go, man, they just don't have the wife I have, or the husband I have, or the teenager I have, or the financial situation I have, or the death in the family I had, or the divorce I had, or the this I had, or the health challenge I had, or so easy, so easy. It's amazing what other people have been through when you start finding out the childhood they had. I mean, nobody would think Nicole grew up the way she grew up. If you met her now, nobody would have a clue what we've been through. And so the thing about that is that God used that season of my life to humble me and to get me looking at other alternatives instead of what I was doing professionally. And that's when it took 1.5 years for me to swallow my ego. You know what ego stands for, right? Edging God out. To swallow my ego and go, okay, I guess I could do one of those things, you know, network marketing for the bigger vision that I caught, the impact in people's lives, and do it right. And I caught a vision of doing it right, not doing it spammy, not doing it the way some people do it and have given it a bad reputation. By the way, don't even let that cause you any insecurity. There are realtors that have done it wrong, real estate wrong, and give it a bad reputation. There are mortgage brokers that don't do it right. There are medical professionals. I mean, the delivery of our second baby, that doctor ended up in prison. That guy was crazy, strung out on drugs, said some amazing things, but now I can't judge all doctors by him. So all I'm saying is there's crazies in every occupation. There just happens to be more in ours, probably because, hey, $75, you can start a business. So low barrier of entry. But anyway, I caught the vision where we could do this right. And we could do it we could really serve others, and we could do what's best for the person in front of us. And we can just create an amazing life helping people. And so we started the business in 2015 part-time because we still had our 2 full-time jobs, with her homeschooling our 6 children being the job. And within 16 months, we had created an income that was a 6-figure passive income, 8,500 a month, something like that. Which I guess now, you know, I don't know what that's like now. It's well over 10 grand a month, I'm sure, in today's dollars, probably 14 grand a month today. I don't know what it is, but we did that in 16 months. And then I was able to get out of construction, come home and full-time be with Nicole and our children. And we've been growing this business together since, from 2016 through now. And like we told some people this week at the mastermind, hey, our business is doing, we're for Ruby, our business is doing about $300,000 a month in sales, like 180,000 PV, which is about $300,000 a month in sales. So whatever that is, 3.6 million a year, pushing 4 million a year, probably in sales revenue at wholesale cost. And we've realized that we've just been dabbling, like literally, and we would not have realized this had we not joined this mastermind a year ago, last October. And it's opened our minds and our eyes to see, this top 10 and 10 that Kendra is talking about, our CEO, us being one of the top 10 companies in the next 10 years, which, by the way, the 10th largest company in our industry is doing 1.8 billion. So when she says top 10 and 10, what that means is we've got to go from 2 to 250 million a year that we're doing now to 1.8 billion in 10 years. That's some exponential growth. And that's exciting. That's a lot of people on the products. That's a lot of health stories. That is a lot of financial stress lifted off of families all across North America and beyond. That's a lot of marriages that relieved a little, financial stress and which Dave Ramsey says is the number one cause of divorce. And obviously money doesn't fix everything, but surely does help some things. So anyway, it's exciting, right? But being around these people, I've realized, dude, we've been playing so small. And like we said, hey, now we're getting serious now about our business, and the actions are going to show the difference of where we're going. But it's just super, super exciting times. Like I've never been more excited about where we're heading as a company. And we have an opportunity. It's really, really, really phenomenal. So Bob asked me the last thing, and then if there's any questions, I'll open it up. But Bob asked me how we did it, like maybe to share how we did it, like how we built, especially in those first 16 months and how we continue today. But there's been an evolution, so to speak, because of COVID and different things that have changed and all that. So it could be a longer answer, but the short answer is we built the business committing to doing one, because there was no Zoom. There was no way to really do well an online presentation. Okay. So this is the context. So now we use Zoom as well, but a lot. But we did in-home health workshops or health talks, whatever you want to call them, health classes. We did these. We didn't even know what we were doing. We hadn't even seen one done before. I'm like, can you send me a video, Josh? Like, I don't even know. Once we decided to do this, I'm like, I don't even know what to do. He's like, Alan, just get the brochure from the Pro Vitality, the little trifold thing we used to have. Maybe we still do. I don't even know. Get the NeoLife Shake little trifold thing, which the print was like, I mean, with great eyesight, you could barely read it. And I'm like, he's like, and just highlight some of the bullet points about the breakfast solution, essentially, and just kind of get people together in the living room and tell them about it, and sample the shakes and sign people up. I'm like, okay. Man, those presentations were horrible. I remember I was horrible. Could not even read it. And I'm maybe it's because I was so nervous. Like I'm trying to look at people and read the things, and I don't know what I'm reading or what I'm saying. It was horrible. If I had a video of that, I wish I did, because I think it would inspire people to go, if they could build a business starting like that, anybody can build a business. And I wish I had that, because now people see our presentations, and although we're far from as good as some people, we're 100 times better than we used to be. We're decent now, right? We've done it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. You get good at something, you do it long enough. I mean, no matter who you are. But that's what we did. We committed to one a week in our living room, and we would always let people know at the end, we love doing these. And if you want to get your products free, and we leverage 3 for free to death. And we would say, if you wanted to, get your products free, we would love to come into your living room and let you invite your friends and family and those you love and care about, and your mother and your sister, your father, your brother, your neighbor, all these ones you're probably thinking of, someone from church on the prayer list, all the things. Man, I wish she could have been here tonight to hear this. Well, now she can. You can invite, we can host one in your living room, and we'll do it. So that kind of grew. Some weeks we would be doing 3, 4, 5 nights a week. Now I'm thankful we're not traveling 3, 4, or 5 nights a week to people's living rooms today. I'm very thankful. I'm thankful for Zoom. And we can do it in our PJs with a, shirt on up top for 30 minutes and be done. It's pretty nice. And people can tune in from all around the country, all around the world. But that's how we did it. And so we ended up, some weeks we had one because we always had one. Sounds like Charlotte and Chuck did the same, always one. And then some weeks it would be 5, some weeks it'd be 3. Just depends on how many other networks we could get into. And that's how and then of course we would share on social media as well, even with our 200 or 300 Facebook friends that we had back then. Probably, we didn't even know what we were doing. We didn't have a big following. And so people from distance could at least go, now, what are you doing? And we could get on the phone or message and send them man, we didn't have anything short to send them. We'd have to send them at least a 30-minute webinar that I think Josh had recorded at the time, our VP of sales for NeoLife at the time, Josh Clark. And so it wasn't optimal, but boy, it sure worked. And so we've gone full circle because we went just before COVID. It wasn't even COVID that forced us. Once we learned about Zoom and the ability to reach scale that way, we're like, this is great. No more traveling, no more people living rooms, no more driving even 10 minutes across town, 30 minutes to set up, 45-minute hour presentation, sampling shakes, talking to people afterwards. Man, some people wouldn't let you leave. You don't get out of there for another hour or two and then another 10-minute drive home. It's a half a day. It's 4 hours. It's 5 hours. This is great. 30 minutes on Zoom. I leave the dinner table. I come in here, make a presentation. Boom, I'm out and I'm right back to being with the family or whatever else I need to do for work or whatever. And I still feel that way to a degree, but what's happened is because of the Eric Worre Mastermind, I've been encouraged. Nicole and I have been encouraged. He's been encouraging us all year. Get back to traveling, get back in people's living rooms, keep pounding the social media. Social media is where you get scale. You can't get as much scale without Zoom and social media, but you can't get stickiness and connection and deep roots that can survive any storm, because relationships are the glue that holds this whole thing together anyway, without getting in front of people. And so we've started traveling again. And traveling, by the way, if you're on this call and you're like, well, I'm just starting out, I don't have a team in Tampa and Tulsa well, great. Who do you have? Your first member, you sign up across town, travel 10 minutes to their house. That's what I mean by traveling. Have them host an event, help them out. So we're back to doing that and we're seeing amazing fruit from it. And by the way, we haven't given up Zoom. And I'll say one more thing about Zoom. Can I say one more thing about Zoom, Bob, before we open up the call to questions?
By all means, yes.
Okay. So one of the guys that in the mastermind, this is just to maybe expand your mind. Some of you that want to dream big, if this hurts your head because you don't want to dream big, like you can just ignore this part for just give me 2 minutes. If you don't want to dream big, literally, because I know some people probably don't. Like, don't talk big numbers because it just seems so unreal. It hurts my head and I don't want to hear it. Okay, just if that's you, tune it out. But for everyone else, so this guy with doTERRA, he's probably 33 years old, 35 maybe at max. He's been with their company 12 years. He and his wife, they are this is one of the big things, our big takeaways from this week, and something we're going to start implementing. When a new promoter signs up with them, they say, here's what you do. 4 in-homes you're going to host. An in-home can be in your home if it's local, but if it's not, and this is worth taking notes, by the way, I'm just so pumped about this. If it's not, then we'll do it on Zoom. No big deal. Okay. So, but 4 health talks, we'll call it 4 health talks, health workshops, whatever your presentation is. 4 of those in a row. Do you want to go, semi-fast, or do you want to go super fast? Because if you want to go super fast, we're going to do 4 in your first week. If you want to go semi-fast, we're going to do 1 a week for the first 4 weeks. So either 4 a month or 4 in your first week. And he said, and he's able to say this, and I think I can too now that I start thinking about it, because this is similar to what we've done, but he's taking it next level, which I'm going to get to in a minute. He said, if you Do all 4. And by the way, your goal is to have 10 people at each of these 4. Minimum 10. Simple script to invite, super easy, painless. 10. So there's 40 people that are going to be exposed to his presentation. If you do this, you will hit core rank by the end of 4. At least let me say this. I can't say you will. Never in 12 years have I had someone do this and not hit core rank. So our core rank is executive manager, similar to theirs, average income 500 a month. So you can't do this. I mean, you'd be the first. And by the way, we asked him, how many have you had do this? He goes, at least 1,500 people. At least 1,500 people have done the 4. Not everyone does the 4, but at least 1,500 have done the 4, and all of them have hit core rank. All of them. And our core rank is executive manager, 2,000 PV, average income $500 a month, recurring residually. So here's how he does it. Now, and I would say we can say the same. And I was thinking about this. We haven't driven it with confidence like that, like he does, or we'd have a lot more. But I'm thinking, how many do we, because we've encouraged 4 in consecutive, just that was something we came up with. We thought that was good. So it's interesting that they're doing the same. But like everybody that I can think of, because this is the first time I've been aware that have done all 4 has hit executive manager in our team. I can't think of somebody that hasn't. And it's nowhere near 1,500. It might be 10 or something people. But again, we haven't driven it like they have been for years. But this is where we're heading, just to give you guys something that our team doesn't even know yet because it's fresh. We just got home last night late. So, but the other piece is what I'm excited about. And this is the last thing I'll share. We've been doing all these presentations, like I said, hundreds. We have very few people in our team duplicating this. We have people doing presentations in our team, but with an organization in the thousands, we should have a lot more than we do. And so I was inspired by this. What he does is the first presentation of the 4 that they commit to, he does the presentation like we do. The news distributor or promoter will welcome the guests in their living room or on Zoom, welcome the guest, share their 1-minute story, and introduce the speaker, which is him. He does the whole presentation. That's how we do it. But he lets them know ahead of time, if we're going to do this, here's the plan: 4, 1 a week or 4 in a week, whatever they choose. I will do the first one like that. The second one, we're going to do 50-50. So pay attention to the first one. The third one, you're going to do it, and I'm going to do the close at the end. That's it. The fourth one, I'll be there, but you're doing it all. The fifth one, I won't be there ever again. Ever. He's built such a strong culture of leadership. He has 200 six-figure income earners in his team. He's making over, 7 figures a year. They have, get this, this is what inspired me most. They have 7 on any given night of the week. On any given night of the week, on average, they have 700 in-homes happening in their team. And so you take the power of Zoom with in-home, because it depends on if you're local to the person you sign up or not, whether you Zoom or go to their living room. You don't fly across the country to do an in-home for someone you just signed up. Okay. And then you combine that with encouraging people, really forcing people, if they're going to want to step up and build a business, to be a leader and step it up and mess it up and start messy, just like we did, and say, I don't have to look like Nicole or Alan or Bob when I make a presentation. I'm just going to look like me the best I can. That's how everybody started. I'll bet you Charlotte and Chuck's first presentation wasn't amazing. Maybe it was better than my first presentation if they'd done them with other companies before, but the first one with the first company, I'll bet was, I don't know. I wasn't there, but Charlotte can speak to it. But I just, nobody starts great. Every master was once a disaster at whatever their craft is. Michael Jordan and everyone else. So I hope that encourages you that we can do so much more than what we're capable of. And if you can't tell, I'm really excited. Sorry I went so long, Bob. I'm really excited. And so I've got a lot to say, but I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you. It was just tremendous. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Thank you so very, 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 very much. You guys, anybody got a question? Because Alan said we can ask. Kat, you got one? Okay, go for it.
Now that you have gotten really good at what you're doing, what are you sending people now after you've had that initial conversation?
You can't hear her, Bob. I couldn't hear the
Go
question.
loud.
What are you sending to people now that you, when you have that first initial conversation, you've refined your process. So what are you sending them to first?
So what I heard was, thanks for the question. When I have that initial first conversation, I'm guessing with a prospect, like maybe the lady on the plane last night that Nicole met. I don't know if that's your question or not. Like, what are you then sending them? Is that the question, Bob?
I think so. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it depends on the context of the conversation. If the conversation revolved around income and starting a business and creating an additional income stream for them, some extra wiggle room in their family budget or whatever the conversation, quitting their job someday, creating something to supplement Social Security someday or right now, whatever, if it's money, related, income related, then it's incomewithimpact.com. Which if I can at all get them into the Facebook group and tag them in that video, that's my first choice, just so they can see other people posting in that group. Not only will they get the video that way, but then they're able to see other promoters welcoming their new promoters in that group, other promoters recognizing their promoters for stepping up to manager and senior manager and executive manager and director. And so they're getting to see social proof, social validation, which is like marketing 101 and so important. Hopefully all know that it's very, very important that people see other people having success. And that's why stories, true, authentic, real stories are so important. And so if we can get them in the Facebook group, I'm talking about the Ideal Business Facebook group for business, and tag them in that Income with Impact video, we do that. Or if you just need to text them the link directly, incomewithimpact.com. But if the conversation was around health, which I think it more was, I was hearing just parts of it, trying to work on our retreat agenda for this November, our team retreat, which we're pumped about, and welcome any of you to join us November 8th through the 10th. It's going to be insane. We've got the chief science officer, Dr. Beck, will be there with us. But if it's health, like I think it was with Nicole and this lady, then it's going to be one of two things. Always 5keycriteria.com, 5keycriteria.com, 6-minute video with 4 minutes of bonus stories at the end, but I always call it a 6-minute video with 4 minutes of bonus stories, 5keycriteria.com, and either text it or again, put them in the NeoLife Healthy Living community Facebook group, much better, and just tag them in that featured post where that video lives, just like it lives in the featured post of Ideal Business Facebook group for business. And why? Because if they're the Facebook group, they get to see all these other testimonials of product use stories. In the interview in there of Bob that I did years ago of him, his product testimony, and others that are in that Facebook group and others that'll be posted in that Facebook group in the future. In fact, just a testimonial for the Facebook groups. Okay. These two, I put a lady, we call it ATM, add tag message, but I put a lady, a business prospect in the Ideal Business Facebook group back in 2016 or 2015. No, it was 2017. Sorry, not that it matters, but 2017. 3 months ago, I got a message. By the way, because I met her at the bank, in person, banker, met her. She helped me open up an account for a kid. Are you open to an additional income stream? I'm open. Yes, I'm open. Okay, I'm going to invite you in a Facebook group, tag you in a video. Great. So she knew what was going to happen. I invite her in the Facebook group. I tag her in the video. I follow up. Did you watch it? No reply. A few days later, follow up. No reply. Week later, follow up. No reply. Week later, follow up. No reply. I'm done. 7 years has passed. Forgot all about the lady. Couldn't even tell you her name. I get a message 3 months ago. I'm ready to join as a promoter. I'm like, I don't even know who this lady is in my messenger. I'm like, I don't know who this is. So I scroll back up in the messenger. Who is this lady? To the very beginning. Oh, I met her at the bank. I read our course. Oh, I know who she is. I said, what in the world made you reach out to me 7 years later? She's like, I've been watching the stuff in the Facebook group. Seems like everything's going good. People are having success. Timing's right for me right now. So that's why I prefer the Facebook group. But back to the product, 5 key criteria, .com if you're not using the Facebook group to tag them in. And then if I feel like they're short attention span people, 5 key criteria solution.com, which is the sequel, another 6-minute video to go specific into core nutrition of NeoLife. However, if we've had a great conversation, I feel like they might watch a 30-minute health talk, and that's really what I want them to watch. Then 5 key criteria solution, still 6-minute video, same first one. Hey, watch this. This is going to give you a great overview in 6 minutes. If you like what you see and you're interested in learning more, watch this 30-minute webinar. I send both at the same time. Watch this 30-minute webinar. You're going to love it. You're going to learn so much that you'll wish you probably, if you're anything like me, learned years ago. Zoomhealthtalk.com. And again, that webinar is in the featured post of the Facebook group. So if I tag them in the Facebook group, it's all there. But that's how I do it if I don't. If I can't get them in Facebook for some reason, it's just too hard. Does that help?
Yes. And I've got a testimony. We'll get Jamie on here in a minute. By the way, Alan, I don't know if you can, if the camera can, Jamie and Carol and Debbie have, I don't know if I've shown, I can't do that. Yeah, we got 10 people. Jamie and Carol and Debbie have 10 people here too. So isn't that great?
Yes, I can see you all. Yeah, it's awesome. Great job, you guys. Nice to see you all.
Yeah. So a little this morning, actually the way I connected with Alice and Charlotte's granddaughter, I sent her 5 key criteria.com, just like Alan saying, 5 key criteria solution.com. And then I didn't want to really send it without asking her, getting her first to say yes. Instead of just sending, I said, Allison, would you like to see the 30-minute version that Alan made? And she said yes. Because Alan,
Yeah.
isn't that a lot more powerful than saying, can I send this? I'll send this to you right now. No, you say, do you want to see it? Isn't that better to do it that way?
Yeah, exactly. If I send it to you, is it something you would watch? Now, I want to sell it first. Hey, if I send you a 30-minute video, will you watch it? I don't know. Like, I don't got 30 extra minutes. But if I tell you, why it would be beneficial to you, and then ask you if I send you a 30-minute video, would you watch it? You're going to get a different response, at least a better percentage. So yes, I do agree with that. Eric Worre in the mastermind this week we were talking about business videos, and he's in the process of making a high production, like business video for, I think, Herbalife or one of the companies that's hired him to help as a consultant or whatever. And he was going through he was sharing with us the outline of in his mind, the perfect business opportunity video. And somebody asked, how long should it be? And he said, my goal is 8, 10, 12 minutes, somewhere in that range. He goes, but honestly, it doesn't really matter how long it is if it's good and it hooks them in the first couple minutes. That's what matters. Really, you got to hook them in the first 15 seconds, and then you got to rehook them within a couple minutes. And then if you've got them, then they're interested enough. It doesn't matter if it's 8 minutes or 18 minutes. At that point, or 30, it doesn't really matter too much. And so I believe that with all my heart. And so I think that's why I like, hey, 6-minute video. If you like what you see, I'm confident you will watch the 30-minute video. And that's kind of how we do it. But if I just know I'm dealing with someone that there's no way they're going to watch a 30-minute video, 5 key criteria, 6 minutes, 5 key criteria solution.com, another 6 minutes is how I do it.
Okay.
The name of the Facebook groups again.
Can you tell the name of the Facebook group once more, Alan?
Yes. So for the product, it's sorry. The NeoLife. Okay. Sorry. NeoLife Healthy Living Community. NeoLife Healthy Living Community. And then there's dash, whatever you call it, North America, but you'll find it if you just do NeoLife Healthy Living Community. Actually, you won't find it if you're not a member. So it's a private group. So if you search it, you cannot find it unless you're in it. So if you're not in it, you need to ask somebody like Bob or anyone else that's in it to invite you into it. And then you can accept the invite. And then you can invite others. And you might ask, why is that? Because we want it to be a safe place to invite prospects to. And that's the only way we could look as admins. We can go back and look, oh, I'm looking at a name on the screen, Florence Brown. Let's say we see Florence Brown in the group. We can click on her name and go, oh, Barbara Chichester invited her, or Bob invited her, or whoever. It's like, okay, that's Bob's prospect. We've never, ever, ever had a problem in all these years with the group. We've never had to do it. But that is one of the reasons why we keep it private. So if you're not a part of it, that's the name of it, but you're going to have to ask somebody to invite you. The business one, same story. It's called The Ideal Business NeoLife. The Ideal Business NeoLife.
Okay, good, good, good.
And if you're writing notes, you click on featured at the top to get the post. There's one post under featured, and that's the one you tag people in, and it explains, it's got the links to the video or videos and tells them what to do. Super simple.
Thank you, Alan. So I did the same thing with a medical doctor I met at a networking group. If I remember right, I showed him the two short ones that Alan mentioned. And then he watched the 30-minute one, and he joined with a breakfast pack. I think it was Tuesday. So I think that the 30-minute one is really good. I mean, it's phenomenal, especially the new one that Alan did, because you got the core three, right? Because I watched.
Yeah, we took the core 3, which we just love. We were begging them to do that. Whitwell, Stephen didn't think he could do it a year ago. We're like, please, if you can get core 3 as a free health pack, like that will, like, this is, it's just on every level. I could just sell you all the reasons why it's so great. I won't. I sold him, tried. And he's like, I don't think we can get it done. It's like too much to give away free. Well, somehow they got it done. And so, yeah, we redid that with what we loved about the Discover NeoLife slides. And what we didn't, we left out. What we loved about our old presentation, and just kind of merged them all together and made that new presentation, which is it's the best we've ever had. It's so good.
It's very good.
Good.
Zoomhealthtalk.com, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Yep. More to come, because there's so much more to say. Like we're going to be working on after this week of the mastermind, like simulated live webinars that you can send links to people where they can schedule their own live time to get on and watch a presentation like that, and different things that are coming. But yeah, that's always available. Zoomhealthtalk.com.
Okay. One last question from Kat, and then we're going to go to Jamie.
Does he have like a PDF that he gives to people when he's helping them to understand the order so they can duplicate what his process is?
Can you hear that, Alan?
No.
Real loud.
Do you have a PDF, or is your process to give somebody, this is your step-by-step to duplicate what I've just walked you through?
Man, somebody started the ice maker right at the very end. 1 second. Let me close my door.
Builders has
Okay, what I heard was, do we have a step-by-step PDF or guide to give to somebody to what?
duplicate your process.
To duplicate your process.
Yes. It's a free app called Boards. And I'll give this to you. Okay, this is the greatest gift I can give you, in my opinion. How can I get this to you easily? I'll put it in the chat here. Let me grab it. So what I'm going to put in the chat, I can't type and talk at the same time. So let me tell you, and then I'll grab it and I'll paste it. Is the link that we send to, it's the message we would send to a brand new promoter. And this was what mainly this week was about at the mastermind, was what is your process for when you start a new promoter, launching them and getting them success as soon as possible? What do you do? And we had people, these, again, 7-figure a year income earners from various companies, getting to the front of the room and sharing step by step everything they do. and it was awesome. But anyway, we have that. And as they were going through it, because of this mastermind for last year, I'm like, you know what? We picked up some things. Don't get me wrong. We're going to go next level with what we're doing. We're always going to keep doing that. But we're like, we're pretty dialed. Like, this is pretty good. We got a pretty good one. It made me feel really grateful, right, for what we've had. And it's not because we are great. It's because we've already been gleaning from these people for a year. So this is the message we send to people when they're a brand new promoter, and it walks them through the process of getting plugged in and oriented and onto the next step. And then it laid it out, step 1, step 2, step 3, very clean, I think, and easy. So let me drop that in here for you all to copy on the chat. And that's probably I think that's the answer to your, for you to do later today or whenever you want to check it out. But I think that's the answer to the question. I'm grabbing it right now. And actually, can I screen share? Let me see if I can screen share. Oh yeah, it'll let me screen share. I'll just show you what it looks like. Now this is our for our team, but we share all of our stuff with anybody in NeoLife. There, you should be able to see that. So it's a free app, and I'll send you a link to this, but it just has the new person start here, get connected. And when you click that, it tells, helps them get connected. Step 1, make your list. When you click that, it shows them how to make their list. Step 2, start conversation. And everything from starting conversations with new people through inviting them to look at a video or whatever is in there. Step 3, everything from following up with them to signing them up is in there. There's a fast start business training course here if someone wants it. And then there's some quick links. And then you scroll, that's level 1, and then you can keep scrolling down to level 2, and nobody has to worry about this until they sign someone up. So we try to keep it simple. Once they sign someone up, have a new promoter, click this and see what to do with them. And there's a process for what you do with your new promoter. Have a new member, click this to see what you do with your new member. Like we've tried to make it super simple. So what I'm going to do right now is go have a new promoter, let's say it's you, whoever asked that question. I couldn't hear who asked that question. And so I clicked it, and it tells me what to do with you. Welcome you in that Facebook group, Ideal Business NeoLife, and recognize you. I'm sorry, welcome you with the text I'm going to copy and paste for you guys. Sorry. And then recognize you in that Facebook group. Okay. And then schedule the welcome call. And there's a simple little checklist for what you set, the questions and what you tell your new promoter. Like it's all in writing. So like anyone can do it. The checklist is in here of what you do on your welcome Zoom or welcome telephone call with your new promoter. And then you schedule their launch event. We started off talking about the launch event, their Zoom event, or their in-home, whatever it is that you're doing with them. And it tells you how step by step to do that if I click on this. But I'm only going to click on this. Send this message. I'm going to click on that. There's the message. So let me copy that, stop sharing my screen, and paste it for you all right there and hit send. How's that? And then if you guys want to copy that
Beautiful. Beautiful.
or take a picture of it, if you don't mind typing those long links, then you can do that too. Good question. Super important question. And one thing we learned from Eric is if you don't have it written down, you don't have a system. And if your team doesn't know it, you don't have a system. And so we're like, okay, yeah, we don't have a system. We realized a year ago, like, we don't have a system. Nobody has a system. I mean, I don't know about nobody. Okay. We don't have a system. Let me say that. So now that's why there's a checklist for when you get a new promoter and you have a welcome call with them to go through. Now, do people have to do the checklist? No, but there's at least a core foundational system that gives you some guideline of what to do. If you want to do it different, more power to you. But nobody can say, I don't know what to do when it's right there. Here's what you do if you don't know what to do. So yeah, super important.
Thank you, Alan. Jamie, you got something, so.
Real quick. Alan, you recognize that picture?
I see glasses on Bob's chest.
Oh, let me put it over here. Turn that around a little bit.
Ah, yeah, I recognize that picture. I love it.
My wall, I packed this thing through the airports. You guys, just so you know, Bob and I went to Atlanta, and
See their signature on there?
Yeah.
Tell
It
us the
says,
story.
the person on the top of the mountain didn't fall there. And
Yep.
Alan so graciously gave this to me when we were in Atlanta for or wherever the meeting is there. And it was just
Talladega.
yeah, I was running through the airports with this, had to carry it on the plane and got it back, and it's been on my wall ever since. And I look at that and I go, you know, we've got the best products in the world. We are decades ahead of any other nutrition company, decades at least, you know, 30, 40 years even. But business is always hard, any business. So
Yep.
'cause it comes down to what am I doing? And sometimes I hate that part. I often hate that part, but it keeps me prayerful and and it helps keep me going anyway. Life is a challenge, you know. We just keep going anyway. So
Right.
thanks for this. I just want you to know I've been putting it to good use.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm so glad, Jamie. Good to see you. Will we see you at our retreat in November this year or no?
I don't think I can make it this fall.
Okay. Well, you'll be missed.
I'm pastoring again now, and it makes it really hard for me to get out.
What is
You will be
the
missed.
registration
Thank you.
site, Alan, for
Uh,
the retreat?
Yeah, it's with maybe Allison has a question. I think if she unmuted on purpose, I'll just type it in the wisdombuildersretreat.com. Did I spell it right? I hope so. Oh, wait, wisdombuildersretreat.com. Yeah, I spelled it right. That's the link. And the prices go up $100 on October 27th. It'll say on there. I think it's October 27th.
Okay, and Alan, would you say,
And the
would-
pricing includes 2 nights lodging, all the meals, all the training, all the things. It's one price for everything. It's not like some things where you pay $99 to the thing and another whatever for the room, and then you got to buy the meals. It's not like that. It's one price, all inclusive.
and Alan, would you say, do you think convention's more important, summit or a team retreat? Because the team retreat,
I'd hate to have to choose. I would hate to have to choose. Here's what I would say. Impact Summit is like where you find out you had this Stradivarius violin in your attic of the home that you just bought. And a Stradivarius violin, as I understand it, is like some very rare, incredibly expensive violin worth thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And you didn't even know this old dusty violin in the attic was like something really rare and valuable. Like that's Impact Summit. It's like, that's where like, boom, are you kidding me? Where's NeoLife been all my life? What an opportunity I have. And obviously there's some training and there's other things, but that's how I would describe Impact Summit. How I would describe Team Retreat is now you're going to come for a 3-day event and you're going to learn how to play this thing.
that's good. That's a good description. Because Alan, there's way more training and how to and skills. Is would you say then summit is just a huge picture, but the retreat is where you learn way more skills, right?
Yeah. And so they're both important because I mean, even though we've been to summit after summit after summit, like I still need that every year to keep expanding my mind. It's so, and it's not like that's all it does. I'm just picking a highlight, but it does so much more. I mean, we need to be connected to the people. We need to be around people that are the latest, greatest movers and shakers in the company that year, like all those things, right? But so got to have that, but you got to know what you've got, or you're not going to want to apply yourself to the how-tos to learn how to do the things. But Impact Summit just can't compete with a retreat for breaking it down. We're going to breakouts which we've never done before this year. We're going to have breakouts where you get to choose which class, I guess, you go to learn more about this topic or learn more about that topic. And we just keep getting better at this. And it's 9 years of doing it 2 times a year. And it's going to be awesome. So I'd hate to have to choose. I would say both. I know that may not be the answer some people would want to hear because, whatever, but it's the truth. I'd hate to have to choose.
Okay.
In fact, I would have said retreat over Impact Summit in the past, but now Impact Summits have gotten so amazing. This is just in my world. They're kind of just both.
Okay.
Very
Okay.
important.
Super important. Okay. So also I should tell you guys on announcement that Alan and Nicole have been so nice. They said that we're all welcome on their Wisdom Weekly. And
Oh yeah.
in this room, we'll have people have different financial goals or whatever, different levels. But if you're really serious about wanting your business to grow, our finances to improve, and so on, then it's important. They call it staying close to the campfire to be weekly connected. I mean, weekly, not once a month, because this team meeting is only once a month and the first Saturday of every month. But Alan has, and Nicole and Josh and Lawrence and Chelsea and Dwight and Marilee do the Wisdom Weekly every week. Oh, it's only 30 minutes, you guys, on Friday, 9 o'clock West Coast time. And is the way they get on there, Alan, they just text WB to 678-736-8071 and then follow the instructions to
Yeah, and then after you send if you type WB and send it WB as in Wisdom Builders to that number, it will send you a text back about a minute later, and you have to click that link and fill out your name and stuff, or you won't be added to the list. So it's a two-step process. But that link that I put in the chat from the boards app that I just showed you of what we send to a brand new promoter, if you follow those steps, you don't even have to remember that number or any of that, because as you go through step 1, step 2, step 3, one of the steps is click this button and it texts the number for you. So it's all in that new promoter getting started setup. We've made it really, really easy, but yeah, you can do it that way too, the manually, the way Bob just described. Yes.
Okay. But I saw Jamie on there yesterday, and I think Mary Antoine was on there. But you guys, it's like our lifeline for each week. It keeps us way more connected and our mindset way better. Just 9 to 9:30 every Friday morning, and
Pacific.
Pacific, yes, Pacific time, and they're going to send you the reminder about 30 minutes, isn't it, Alan? Right, about 30 minutes.
That is correct. And somebody, Carol actually asked, when is the dates for Impact Summit? I put it in the chat, but it's the last Friday and Saturday, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. It's the last Friday and Saturday of July in Dallas.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. And our fall retreat is November 8th through the 10th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in Talladega, Alabama, just outside Birmingham. People fly into Birmingham or Atlanta or Nashville.
Right. Okay, so you guys, let's. I think our only announcement now is next November 2nd. So that's of next month. Our next team BOC. We're going to have one of the best product trainers in the whole company. It's going to be on with us. Alan, wouldn't you say Susan Adams is quite good?
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Yes. So
She'll be doing a talk at retreat, by the way, on the NeoLife difference. What differentiates NeoLife science and products from other companies and all these other companies that sound so amazing, which I cannot wait for, by the way. She's incredible.
Can they watch by remote to register at wisdombuildersretreat.com?
Yes, it's not available yet, but yes, at some point we will get that on there where they can purchase a virtual ticket to watch it streamed live. Yes, and that probably usually towards the end of October, probably around the time the $100 off ticket goes up to full price, maybe October 27th is probably when the virtual tickets will then be available.
Okay, so then you guys, if you're not going to the retreat, you can watch it live right here. And then when they register, Alan, then doesn't it usually 2 to 4 weeks later, they get every recording too, which is pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. What we say 30 days later, because there's a lot of editing and processing that has to be done. But yeah, 2 to 4 weeks later. Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. So what we're going to do now, you guys, I'm going to read names of recognition because we appreciate everyone's contribution so very, very much. Yes, enormous, enormous. let's
Thank you, Bob. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here with you and your team and Charlotte.
Well, we're so happy that you guys could do it. We're very, 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 very honored and happy. And you guys, one more for Charlotte and Nicole and Alan, guys.
Right.
Thank you so much, Charlotte and Nicole and Alan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, you guys. We're gonna start with at senior manager, and she's sitting on a chair right there. Ginny Knowles with 1,001 points, and then Dean Vandenberg, Southern California, 1,001. Mary Lou Stevenson, she's in Texas, 1,002. Teresa Hansen in Portland, 1,011. Nancy Reese right here in Grants Pass, 1,021. Tracy Slater, I think this is her first month at senior manager, 1,079. She's in Eugene. Give her a hand. And then we have Kat right there with 1,080. Troy Williams, that's Barbara's son. And is it his first month as senior manager, Barbara?
Yes, Bob.
Okay.
Woohoo!
So Troy, her son did 1,097 points. Then Kevin and Janet Cornelius in Philomath, 1,242 points. Brent Chichester, Barbara's little brother, 1,428 points. Jill Schroed, 1,867. Lisa Hansen, 2,254. Sigrid Simpson, 2,386. Gene McEwen in New York, 2,785. Joy Cordell in Seattle, 2,989. Marilee Blomberg, 4,004 points. Mark Ritchie in Iowa, 4,028. Deborah Muzak in Grants Pass, Oregon, 4,193. Then we have Reverend Wilson, James, Reverend and Carol Wilson, 5,072. Woo! Then Victor Pearson with 6,286. Daniel Hansen, 6,385. Barbara Chichester, 7,802. Leslie Hansen, 10,328. And then in number one for personal volume, we have Stephanie Beckett with 12,917. What an illustration of the opportunity. Steffi's 73. She's got 8 grandkids. She does NeoLife about probably maybe an hour a day. And
Bob,
yes.
move your paper off the camera. Oh, thanks.
Okay, sorry. And so Steffi pulling in a very nice paycheck, 12,000, almost 13,000. You guys, isn't that amazing? Okay, then for people with directors in their team, we have the Queen, the Queen Deborah Musak, 9,265 points. And then we have Leslie Hansen, 16,713. Outstanding. Then Victor Pearson, 27,005 points.
Woo!
And then Marilee Blomberg, 47,722. So you guys, what we're going to do now, we we're here at Jamie's. There's 10 of us here, and we're going to break for a little bit, and then we're going to start a little bit of business training, right? And then are we having lunch and then some product training after lunch? Okay, you guys, it was wonderful getting to be with all of you, and thanks for joining us. Daniel, can you hear me, Daniel?
Yeah, I can hear you, Bob.
Okay, good. Daniel is on. Are you on a cruise right now, Daniel?
I'm not. I'm home for 3 days, but I go back tomorrow to perform again.
Okay. When do you suspect this link will be up and running?
I'm going to try to have it done by tomorrow afternoon before I head out.
Okay, good. So you guys, if you want to listen to Alan Moore, you know, or Charlotte or Nicole, wasn't Nicole's health story amazing, guys? Incredible. But even Charlotte, because she's got great energy. And remember when she started, she could fall asleep at a red light. And I remember her telling me that story. She fell asleep in the car wash going through, you know. So her health, you know, I'm not sure her age, but I think she's pretty vibrant still. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so if you is that you, Allison? Is Charlotte? There's Charlotte. Charlotte, you're pretty vibrant. Is your energy quite good? I'm thinking.
Bob should be telling where's
For a
Daniel.
for a 62-year-old, is it pretty good?
62 plus a few years. I started when I was 29. It's been 49 years now. So I'm 78 and I'll be 79 in February. And people tell me, oh my goodness, aren't you going to retire? It's like, why would I retire? I'm having too much fun. And people are always saying, I can't believe your energy. I can't believe how vibrant your life is. It's thanks to the Lord in NeoLife for sure.
Imagine that, you guys, to still, you know, built a really successful business. So we got adequate resources, still good energy. I mean, you guys, when we get our 60s, 70s, me, you know, the product makes you look younger than you are. A lot of people guess me in my 60s somewhere, but last June I turned 104. And, but, Charlotte, isn't it nice? We're seniors to have good energy level. Is that amazing?
It is such a blessing. And, you know, I just was blessed with fulfilling a lifelong dream with NeoLife going to Paris, France, and ran all over Paris just had the best and most incredible time. Saw our teammates from Nigeria, 5 diamond people in Nigeria downline. You never know where this business is going to take you. And next year, the diamonds are going to Lisbon, Portugal. We'd love for all of you to be with us. But wherever you go with NeoLife, it just can't be beat because you're with the most wonderful people in the world, like minds, wonderful, beautiful, dedicated people, and we have so much fun.
And you guys, look, Charlotte, we're not in Charlotte's team, but what a sweet lady. And she's helping us just out of the goodness of her heart. And then we're not in Alan and Nicole's team, just pure friendship, kindness. They call that the NeoLife community, right, Deb? That's what they call that. And I think it's a real thing, don't you? Because the friendships across teams. So, Charlotte, thank you for being on, and Allison for helping us get Charlotte this today. And we're going to do our training now. You guys do that texting so you can get on every Friday for 30 minutes. It'll really refresh you and encourage you. And Danielle, what is our YouTube channel? Do you remember it that you can tell them?
Yeah, if you just search for Pearson's Health and Nutrition, it'll come up. But I believe it's youtube.com/Pearson's Health Nutrition. But yeah, just search YouTube for that and it'll show up.
Okay, and Pearson's has no apostrophe, correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
So I haven't searched that recently, but in the old days I couldn't find it that way. But so would they just go to YouTube? Would it be .com/, or do you have it in your mind to even tell us?
Yeah, I can post it in the chat here in about a minute if you want.
Yes,
Anyone wants to?
That would be good. Okay, so Daniel will have that up there. Anyway, the reason I'm saying that, you guys, not only will all this be on there, but we've got phenomenal talks. Charlotte, you wouldn't believe this. We have about a 2.5-hour talk from Jerry. Can you believe that?
That's fabulous.
Yeah, we were all stunned because, you know, most speakers can't hold the audience more than 15 to 20. And he was like an hour and a half over time. And I was watching, you know how this has the participants on here? It tells you how many are on. No one was dropping off. No one. 2.5 hours. Remember that, Jamie? And so anyway, there's what I'm saying. And Kendra, we got several of Kendra. But you guys, also on that channel, there's not only these trainings from Breakfast of Champions, there's also a lady giving a MRSA testimony, which is deadly. And her kid recovered from that just with our garlic. There's all kinds of inflammation and pain things on there. There's depression ones. There's macular degeneration. There's everything you can think of, testimonies at that place. So let's see here. Daniel has it up there in the chat. youtube.com/@ that's an @ sign, isn't that, Daniel?
Uh-huh.
At Pearson's Health Nutrition. So it's not Pearson's Health and Nutrition, it's Pearson's Health Nutrition. So you guys, I'm just saying, if you want to go to that, it's a tremendous resource for not only product training, and then you can copy and paste the links in there, like on migraines, on acid reflux, on joint pain. It's a good resource, really good resource. Okay, you guys, great being with you. Have a great day.
Bye. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank you
Bob.
so much. It was wonderful. I
Thank you,
love you
Bob.
all.
Hey, Florence. Nice of you to join us.
Thank you, Bob. God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bob. You're amazing. Love you
Thank
guys.
you, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye, Allison. Nice to see
Bye,
you.
Allison.
Your husband there. Thanks for your service in Air Force, sir.
Sir.
My son's in the Air Force.
Nice, nice.
And Charlotte, since you're from another team, would you agree to the NeoLife community? It's a real thing, isn't it? The friendship.
I just want to jump in there and hug everybody, you know, Barbara and Leslie and Daniel and just all the people I know and all the people I don't know. I want to hug you when I see you in Dallas at Impact Summit.
Yep.
That is so
Love
sweet.
you all. And Branson and Allison. Mwah, mwah. Thank you, Bob.
You guys have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.